Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to the island of Bali, Indonesia, and welcome to a new video. I'm actually in a shopping center today. However, I want to show you what I think is perhaps one of the best supermarkets on the entire island. It's just downstairs. We're going to head on over there together. If you're wondering where I am, I'm in ICON Sanur, and this is a very new shopping center right on the beach in Sanur, in the southern part of Bali. This place is massive. There is shops on top of shops and cafes, restaurants. They hold some shows from time to time here. This is Sunday night, and it seems like everybody who is in Bali right now is here. Lots of people relaxing. You can see just how big it is. It's a huge shopping center. It almost feels out of place for Bali. I have actually done a full walk around of this shopping center back a year ago when it opened. I will put a link to that in the description, and there'll be a card coming up. So if you want to watch that video, if you're in Bali, or particularly if you're in Sanur, I'm sure you know about this already. There is a lot of Western brands, and then there's a lot of Indonesian brands as well. We saw back there Starbucks. So it is rather busy for a Sunday night. There is a lot of Indonesians here shopping. A lot of people who come on holiday to Bali from other parts of Indonesia. Where I want to go is just up on the right hand side here. So this is on the lower ground floor of ICON Sanur. So if you are coming to this shopping center and you are looking for this shop, just go to the lower ground floor once you come in, either from the beach side or from the main road side. This is Krishna Ola Ola, which is actually a rather famous souvenir shop. Now, I've actually done a video also, not at this particular location, but at the one they've got on Sunset Road. This is a massive souvenir store. It's all fixed price, and essentially this is one of the secrets of Bali, in that it's got very inexpensive souvenirs, all at very normal local prices, and you'll always see a lot of Indonesians shopping there. They have, I think, 3 or 4 of them in Bali now, and then this one opened when the mall opened 1 year ago. So there's lots of different shops, but where we're coming to here is called Market City, and this is the only location in Bali. So there isn't 2 of them. Now the other ones are actually in Jakarta. So I think probably people actually who are coming here know about it. You can get shopping baskets right at the entrance, and it is a rather big supermarket, and very typically set up. We've got the fruit and veg at the front, all the drinks at the back. Of course, a lot of seasonal fruit as well. A lot of nice looking fruit. The ladies just got caught up with some tasting right there. They do have a lot of things that are what I consider ready food. So they've got things packaged to either take home or take back to another city in Indonesia, or to eat now. And I'm sure people can tell me the names of these fruits and vegetables. Of course, we know mangoes, mangosteens, avocados, and super dragon fruit. If anybody has had them before, let me know. So what I'll do is I'll go for a bit of a walk around as reasonably quickly as I can. Now, this is Sunday evening, so maybe not everything is filled. Obviously, during the day, they would constantly replenish things. They've got fresh fruit that you can get here, and it's basically the same fruit, but they come and slice and dice it for you, so you can get something, pay for it, and eat it straight away. The other thing you can do, and I think it's a little bit of a secret, is you can purchase the fruit as you see it here whole, and you can ask the staff to cut it for you, and they will actually cut it, and then you're paying exactly the same price, but they put it on a tray for you, and you can take it home and eat it sliced, particularly if you're staying in a hotel. You're not likely to have a kitchen knife in your room, or I hope you don't. But it's a nice way to take some fresh fruit back to the hotel room. You can even get some coconuts, and they're only around about €1 or $1 for a whole coconut. Again, there's some more fresh fruits. And then just basically going beyond the grab and go style foods, they've got plenty of traditional supermarket items and things that, you know, you can take home and cook. Supermarkets here in Indonesia are very interesting because the selection obviously is very curated to the local market. So there'll be a mix of traditional Balinese items and Indonesian, and then there'll be quite a lot of imported things. So you'll see here this Bega brand is Australian cheese, and they'll be priced accordingly because they're imported. You're going to be paying a higher premium for them. So what they've got here, and you'll see my wife just over there, she's grabbing herself a tea, she had some sushi, and you can sit down in the supermarket and enjoy. Actually, I've also got cakes as well over there, pasta, and there is lots to choose from. A lot of different fruit juices, different yogurts, milks. Now, of course, there is a lot of normal and typical to this. And then there is that element of, I'm going to say surprise, where there is just things in here that you've probably never seen before. Turmeric and ginger. Bali turmeric. So you've got all sorts of different iced teas, chilled drinks. Obviously with the weather outside and the heat, you know, we all want something nice and cold. They do, of course, have alcohol and some drinks. So again, a mixture of domestic products. Bintang down there is probably the most known brand in Indonesia. Then you've got Japanese beer, Dutch beer, and everything and more. Coming around to nuts. I don't know if that's a thing. Kangaroo brand. We don't have them in Australia. Anybody knows about them? It does say imported peanuts, but I'd never heard of the Kangaroo brand before. Anybody knows it? Let me know. There's traditional products. That's quite interesting. They've got some of the signage set up. So there is an element of people who would come here who are souvenir shopping and looking to take gifts back to other parts of Indonesia. Or there's people who, like me, come in for a drink while we're at the shopping center. Now, it's interesting to see where the gaps are, so you know what people are buying and what they're not. They have Australian Bundaberg right here, very famous brand. And then have a look at this around the back here. They've got the chairs, they've got charging stations, and the customers only. I'm not sure who else comes in here and sits down. But plenty of things. What about Texas style barbecue Pringles? And then more milks. So these are more considered long life milks. But how many choices do you need? How many flavors? Almond milk. And I think everyone will know Starbucks and Nescafe. And then there's quite a mix of Asian branded products beyond things from Indonesia, which is quite interesting how it's an overlap of products. Cheeky puffs. Now, I'm not doing this video really about the pricing, because there's really two prices that you're looking at here. There's things that are domestically made across Indonesia and they're cheap. And then there's things that are fully imported and they're not cheap. So if you have a look here, for instance, I'm not sure, these are 6,000 rupiah, which is about 30 cents or 40 cents American. Then if you want imported Cheetos, you're paying 100,000, which is, what's it, about $6 or $7 for a bag of chips. Lays or Ruffles right here for $8 or $9 as well. So there's a very big spread in the prices, and I guess it's really your want and desire for something that's maybe your favorite thing from home. And then come over here to the breakfast cereals. So again, there is some Western brands, and then I think these are imported, the Milo. Yeah, there is so many flavors and choices. If you need oats for breakfast, these are Australian right here. Red Tractor. I think I should introduce myself a little bit better. I'm actually an Australian who is originally from Perth, which is only 3.5 hours by plane from here. However, I currently live in Moscow, Russia. So if you are watching and you're one of my Russian viewers, I'll be back home very soon. I'm just here for a little holiday with my wife. I think this is the first time she's been in a video since we've been here, and she's taken advantage of the fresh fruit and having a coffee while I'm walking around. And I make a lot of videos that are with the word typical, Russian typical, Bali typical, and things like that. So maybe check the playlists. If you're new to the channel, I know a lot of Australians watch these Bali videos, and I think maybe if you've not been to Bali before, maybe you didn't know about ICON Sanur, and now you're discovering a supermarket, which most people probably don't know is underneath the main entrance when you walk in. I probably should have got here a little bit earlier to give you a better idea of some of the ready food or fresh food and things that you can buy and eat now. So they do have quite a lot of choices of things. And Jenny has found some dragon fruit, and she's having a drink as well. We're actually doing pretty much relaxing and eating. And I was hoping to show you some sushi, but I think they've done cooking. It's currently almost 9 p.m. on Sunday night, so they won't be far off closing. I think 10 p.m. they're open till. So plenty of time still to walk around. So the shop is very nice, the way it's laid out. And then who are the shoppers? I think a large amount would be tourists, people who are buying things to take home, people like us coming in for a snack now. So there's quite a lot to discover as you walk around the registers, as you leave right over here. And of course, the most popular beer in Indonesia, right here by the entrance and exit. So Bintang is pretty much the beer of Bali. Perhaps not as big in other cities, but you can come in here and grab some cheap beer, take it back to your hotel room, put it in the fridge, and you can have a few drinks before you head out somewhere. Lots of snacks, lots of dry biscuits. There's very interesting. I think it'd have to be about 70% snack related products, and then 30% normal food, if that's such a word to describe it as. If you might have watched recent videos, I've talked quite a lot about eggs in Russia and how they've come down a whole lot in price. There isn't shortages, and here in Indonesia and in Bali there is a lot of chickens. Pretty much chickens and pigs are the two staple foods here, and their classic box of 10 eggs is 40,000 rupiah, which works out at $2.44 US. If you're interested, I would say that a lot of people that live on the island who have their own house or family house, that they would have chickens at their own home, that they wouldn't buy them so much in shops. Now, this gentleman over here said that I need to point out and talk about Luak Coffee. And there's actually quite a few different things right here. So Luak Coffee is rather famous in that this animal right here, or this cat-looking thing, eats the actual coffee beans and then he poos them out and then they make coffee out of it. So it actually digests them and doesn't improve the taste. But it is incredibly famous. It is not cheap coffee in any way. And depending on where you live, it's not even legal. So always be careful if you're buying it, or check ahead of time. But there is a lot of different choices of it, different flavors. Oh, that's one of the beans right there. So this is how it comes out after it's been in the actual luwak animal. So it's very interesting, and there is a lot of choices of coffees in Indonesia and teas as well. And this luwak coffee is pretty much a staple product that people take out of Bali. And you can even go to some of the places in the middle of Bali, up in Ubud, where you can do some tasting. Now, a bit of a secret is it's usually cheaper in the supermarkets, but you know, where you buy it's up to you. And we come around to some of the more normal things. Again, more teas, creamers, energy bars. There's a lot of things, of course, that are normal to Balinese people. And then there is the Western products thrown in the middle. Granolas. And one thing I will say is people do eat very well here. And you can eat very inexpensively. So have a look at how many luwak coffees they have. So they've got this whole middle section here with a lot of different brands and different types. Really more gift style packaging. But you can pay up to around about 70 American dollars for a box. There is different sizes, of course, different flavors. But if you're looking for that one Indonesian gift, they've got this whole middle section here. Bintang hats. So these are all very classic items. Of course, there's also some regular coffee in between. Lots of dry snacks, peanuts. It's really interesting because as an Australian, we wouldn't traditionally take food items to give as gifts. We take something different. Lots of soaps. So the supermarket is on this left-hand side over here. So all of the traditional things and aisles of snacks and chips. And of course on the other side you can see over there all of the noodles or instant noodles. There's even some American Hershey's. I think also there's a lot of Korean products here in Bali as well. And depending on the supermarket and the size of it, that's really going to depict how big a choice of things you're going to have. So all of the instant noodles. Now if you've ever been to any of the ramen style places, these might be recognizable. I think the famous Indonesian brand is called Indomie. And you can get the small pack there for, it's about 20 cents. In the back they've got some personal care items and all the different things like shampoos and soaps and things like that. The one tip I will give you if you're watching and you're coming to Bali on a holiday, buy sunscreen at home, because I would say it's sometimes up to double the price here that you can pay for it, for instance, back in Australia. And by default, bring some after sun or some aloe vera with you, because no matter what's going to happen, you will get sunburnt, even if it's cloudy. And even if you don't use it, bring it with you anyway. And then generally, if you do forget things, there is lots of shops that you can get everyday items. But my tip to bring sunscreen, I think, should be a bit of a good thing to keep in mind. So get some pasta sauces. The thing I find when I'm here, I mean, okay, I'm staying in a traditional hotel, but if I was in a villa, I can definitely shop in a supermarket like this, but I can go to a restaurant and get a meal very cheaply versus actually buying all the foods and taking it home and cooking it. There is a British sauce here, which is very famous in England, HP sauce. And then all of the things like cooking oils. It's interesting how they've got them in these like plastic bags. Okay, they've got some bottled ones. Heinz vinegar. My gosh. When I'm actually looking here, these are things that I can't get in Russia. And they're on the shelves here in Bali. Even the curry sauce mixes, and of course lots of the different Indonesian dish sauce mixes. Tom yum paste down there. I'm not too sure how much clothing they sell, but they've got a section here of some souvenir t-shirts, and even the frozen section. How many people would be coming to buy frozen items? McCain French fries. I think I've been outside of Australia too long when I see some of the brands. So I would imagine there is some shoppers that are coming here for items. How about Starbucks? These cold coffees. I think that's what they're called. Van Houten. Where is this from? I don't think this is local. Is this perhaps maybe Dutch chocolate? Anybody knows? Let me know in the comments. And then more snacks. Has anybody had these different biscuits before? Or these sticks? These are very good. And then the traditional bar chocolates, Kit Kat, Milky Way, dairy milk. So all of the very normal things, and again, lots of these Bali themed items. So if you're looking for souvenirs to take back. Now, you can take food into most countries as long as it's sealed, and then depending on which country you're going to, you might have to declare things, which is not very difficult. As long as it's sealed, you're good. The one thing my mum always buys are these Fox, these mints, fruity mints, and these hard candies. It's very popular. Also the Mentos, which you can get for less than $1 Australian a bag. These are the famous Indonesian ones, these coffee flavored ones. We can actually buy these in shops in Russia, believe it or not, as well. So I did meet a subscriber today, which was really so crazy to run into somebody while I'm in Bali. Now, depending on when you're watching this, I might already be back home in Moscow, and I'll continue doing my Russian content. And she was telling me, of course, she watches my videos, that she finds it interesting herself to come to these kind of supermarkets and look for something different, something interesting. And you know, I've been in retail all my life, and I never get tired of walking in the shops. And I hope you enjoy these videos. And hopefully, if you're coming to Bali and you end up in the Sanur area and you need a supermarket, that you find this place. Literally just go in any entrance, lower ground floor, and you'll find it tucked in the corner. And I think anyone would know that there's a supermarket in this shopping center. So yeah, it's a easy spot to come and shop in. I know how much everybody loves to see my wife on the videos, and we've caught her here eating some fruit. Now, because it's the end of the day, it's even on special as well. However, it's only about $2 for a pack of the fruit. Now, what did you actually buy?
This is a dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit. I've only got one microphone today, so. And how does it taste?
It's very nice taste.
Very nice?
Sweet and a bit sour, yeah.
So, sweet and sour. Has anybody had dragon fruit before? If you are interested in how you can pay for things here, you can use, of course, local currency, or you can use credit card. Now, the one thing I will remind you as a good tip is make sure you tell your bank that you're traveling out of the country so that it will let your transactions go through. But you can use your overseas credit card, and you'll see here they've got like 4 different machines depending on which bank that you're using, and it's not a problem that you can use them. Most people are a little bit weary and worried. They do also have a alcohol shop. Now I'm just going to briefly walk in here and show you. They've got different alcohols, and they've got, hi, very good. They've got a lot of choices up here. All the different Macallans, different whiskies. Have they got any Russian vodka? Oh, they've got Stolichnaya right here. This is from, well, it's not actually Russian, it's from Latvia. But they always say it being a Russian vodka. They also have some wines. They've actually got it set out by country as well. So they've got Australian wine. They've got from Argentina, France, Spain, Chile. And they've got promotions running now. I will say, if you're comparing it to other countries, it's not cheap. However, if you want alcohol and spirits, you can get them very easily here in Bali. They've even got the large 3-litre Jack Daniels back there. Now, here is a bit of a trivia for you. If you live in America, you cannot buy that bottle, that 3-litre bottle. It's only produced and sold for export. And it's not domestically available in America because of the laws that don't allow you to buy it. They've also got some other Jack Daniels here. They've got the 27 Jack Daniels bonded. So they've got some very nice choices of spirits. So if you do need something and you're coming in the supermarket and you want to get some wine, you can. The lady in the shop there was incredibly helpful and a little bit happy, I guess, to see me in the video or filming the video. Just talking about the wine and the alcohol, the government here put a very high import duty or excise on the bottles. So you will pay more than you would in a retail shop, for instance, in Australia. But if you want a bottle, you can walk in and buy whatever you need. You don't see a lot of alcohol shops in Bali, but when you do, they usually have a fairly nice selection. As I reach the end of the video, slowly, my wife is still eating her fruit right there. I guess my question is there somewhere that you could come shopping? Could you find something? I think for me, all the different snacks and chocolate is more than enough. And of course, I realize there is a fluctuation in the prices, but if you're buying local domestic items, things are cheap compared to Australia. And remember my one tip. So as I head on out of Market City here in ICON Sanur, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And is this Bali's best supermarket? And I think it's pretty close. And I think that might even be my title and thumbnail of the video. And definitely, if you're trying to find the place, just come to the lower level of ICON Sanur and you'll know where it is. It should be fairly noticeable. Actually, between here and Krishna next door, I think you can do all your shopping in literally 2 shops. And I have made a video of the Krishna, actually the one on the main road heading towards the airport is a 3-level Krishna. And it's around about a 10-minute taxi ride from Kuta, maybe 15 minutes from Legian. And it's definitely worth going there as well if you really want some Bali souvenirs. You might be the only Western person in there. Don't be intimidated by that. I know whenever I've been there with my mum, she likes to go shopping there. It's really quite interesting that there is no tourists going there. And even the tour guides don't tell people about Krishna, which I don't know. I guess they want to keep it as their own secret shop on the island. So thanks everybody. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Now my secret word is my tip of the video. Sunscreen or sunburn. Let's say that. That's the secret video or secret word. Sunburn. So if I see that in the comments, you've made it to the last part. My Telegram channel is right here. If you want to follow my daily travels. I will be back in Moscow very soon. I'm only here for a short holiday. And if you want to see an old video, one is coming up now and you can keep traveling with Russell. Okay everybody, I'm off on another adventure. Bye.